Hey guys, Mike from Blinds Online, and I'm here today to show you how to install your economy solar screen or blackout cassette roller shades. Okay, when you open your package, you'll have a set of brackets, okay, and your shade, which will be pre-packaged with your rotation chain. The shade will be taped up inside, which you're not going to release until the shade is actually installed. Okay, that'll be taped up inside. You'll see a piece of paper wrapped around the roller. So we're not going to remove that until the shade is actually installed. At that point, you'll take your mounting brackets, which will look something like this. Now the bracket is labeled, okay? It says top, and that means that's the top of the bracket. Okay, so whether we're mounting the shade inside the frame or out, this will be the top of your bracket. And the first install we're going to show you today is for an inside mount, which means that the shade is going to be mounted inside the window frame. We'll take the top of the bracket, make sure it's facing up toward the ceiling, place it inside the frame, okay, and drive a screw through any of the holes provided. Okay, in your case, I'd rather see you guys use the slotted holes, one screw in each, so that you can pivot the bracket a little further forward or backward if necessary. I'm just using the single screw today to move things along a bit. I mounted my second bracket the exact same way, okay, and you may have more than two depending upon the width of your shade, but we'll provide you with the correct number of brackets. So however number of brackets you receive, please mount them all so you have good support on the shade when it's up. Once your shade brackets are mounted, you'll take the cassette in hand, okay, with the laminated portion of the shade facing you. Alright, so you want to make sure you're looking at the convex portion of the cassette that's laminated. Okay, the back of it looks something like this, so that goes towards the back of the window. And what we're going to do is insert the back portion of this shade into the bottom of the brackets. Okay, just like this. Alright, you'll feel those back hooks will grab onto the back without a problem. Even the shade out so you have an even amount of space on left and right, and then simply roll it back toward the window. Okay, and here I'm going to have to give it a little shot because this is just a sample, and the shade will snap right into place. Okay, so once your shade is inside those brackets, okay, then you can release the little piece of tape that's holding the shade in place inside. I've already removed that just to move things along, but you'll peel that off and that'll release the actual shade. Once the shade is released, bring it down, make sure everything's functioning properly. You'll just pull on the back portion of the chain, one side at a time. Front portion will raise, the back portion will lower your shade. We've also included a child safety device to hold the chain in place so that no young children can take this chain and, God forbid, put it around their necks. Okay? So once you have the shade securely mounted, you'll take a screw and put it through the little hole, okay, of the hold down device. Be sure not to make this too tight, because if you make it too tight you'll have a hard time pulling the chain down. So we want to leave just a little bit of play in the chain when you're mounting your safety device. And once that's in place, you've completed the installation. And again, back portion of the chain lowers, front portion of the chain raises. When you bring that shade up, the whole thing will be completely concealed within the cassette. And that's the beauty of a cassette roller shade. It hides that roller on top to give it a little more of a decorative look. Now, if you were to mount this shade on an outside mount rather than inside, the installation is very much the same, okay, but we're going to mount the bracket either to the wall or to the molding itself, depending upon how you measured for the shade. If you're going to mount it to the molding, to the surrounding molding, you simply take the bracket, again, the top faces up toward the ceiling, place it on the molding, and just drive your screws, okay, into the slotted holes, or if you prefer, the one single hole on top. Okay, that's all there is to it. If you're mounting to your wall, same thing, right to the wall. Okay, and then install the shade the exact same way I just showed you. That's all there is to it for an outside mount. If you have any questions at all regarding the installation of these, please feel free to give me a call. I'm Mike from BlindsOnline.com.